Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, October 18th, 2022, after 3 p.m. Eastern. We will be having a Time for Change call tomorrow night, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be having Reverse Aging Health Call on Friday with a special guest. We waste time looking for the perfect lover instead of creating the perfect love. Tom Robbins. Intimacy is one of those things in this life that we cannot live without. It's something that every human being avoids and craves because it forces us to be vulnerable. Open our hearts and let all of our ugly parts be seen. The more that we take down our walls to open up and allow others in, the more love we can experience. And the greater the possibility is of being criticized, rejected, and abandoned. This makes intimacy the most terrifying part of being in a relationship and also the most rewarding. The essential type of intimacy that I'm referring to isn't physical, sensual, or sexual intimacy, although this is a very important part of our lives. The intimacy I'm referring to is energetic and emotional, which can only come from letting down the protective and defensive walls of the ego. The person who you're creating more intimacy with doesn't have to be your lover, mate, husband, wife, or the partner you've been with for 30 plus years. They could be someone that you've just met and just wanted to practice letting down your own egoic walls. If you've been challenged with just the idea of creating intimacy because you've been wandering down a dreary, dark relationship road for too long, you'll need to create a foundation of safety first before you can truly let down your walls and become more intimate. One of the fastest ways of shifting into a better relationship is this. For the next 3 days in a row, whenever you think about this person, keep your attention on what you like about the person and off of what you don't like about them. Whenever you put your attention on whatever you put your attention on, expands and grows. So why not look for what is sweet rather than sour and divine rather than disgusting? Whenever you see something negative about someone or a triggered by them, there's going to be a strong judgmental part of you secretly holding an attachment of who or what or how they should be. To create a more enlightened relationship, think about it this way. God doesn't make mistakes. Everybody is exactly the way they need to be right now for the world's highest awakening. This universe is always exactly the way it should be in every moment. Realize this deeper truth and apply it to the people who are in your life. See how these people are an intimate part of the great perfection. Practice this awareness daily, and you'll free up enough of your energy to allow in a deeper, intimate connection that feels like you're living in that sacred, special, loving paradise. Give love, deeply and eternal acceptance to those you encounter, and notice what happens. Wayne Dyer. This universe is more intelligent and conscious than the mind will ever fully be able to understand. It is designed to awaken each of us to our soul's purpose and highest destiny. It is here to help us see our infinite potentiality. If we are going to discover our deepest spiritual depth in this life and learn the life lessons we came here to learn and enjoy the life that we want to enjoy, we must choose to let down all of our walls and learn how to be emotionally open and intimate with another. An intimate, open, loving relationship is our ultimate teacher because it forces us to go deeper inside and heal all those wounded parts that feel unworthy of being loved. Without true intimacy, the mind will just make up stories that cover up our pain. It will say that your relationship is okay as it is, and while deep down inside you really feel disconnected and afraid of getting too close to anyone. Only through choosing to embrace this fear of intimacy can you discover total healing and the real reason why you are on this amazing journey called life. If you want a place in the sun, you have to put up with a few blisters, Abigail Van Buren. Intimacy into you, me, see. Intimacy into you, me, see. Can be uncomfortable at first, especially when you have to look at parts of yourself that you don't like to look at. Yet it invites you to release attachment from any protected, defended, velvet rut of an ego trip and forces you to reveal the most divine aspects of your being. Sharing your heart openly, vulnerably and freely with another is the strongest and most courageous thing a person can do on this earth. The ultimate result is total freedom from suffering. Sure, intimacy is like anything in life, right? It contains both the negative and positive aspects depending on how you view it. Yet, on the path that truly fulfills your soul, intimacy creates a depth in understanding your real self that goes beyond anything you can do in your cave alone. To start manifesting a more intimate relationship today, here's some suggestions. Ask the universe for more intimacy. Go ahead and simply ask for more intimacy and the courage to open yourself up to it. Go for what you want instead of just setting and settling for a relationship that you may be tolerating and coping with. If your relationship is not satisfying your soul, you are not standing up for what you want. Imagine what that most sacred, open, loving connection feels like. And request the universe sends it your way ASAP. Start first by focusing on the highest source of consciousness. Ask it to help you find what you honestly want. Know that this universe is listening and trust in whatever happens next. Create intimacy with yourself first. Always with you. It always begins with you. A deeply intimate, loving relationship with anyone always starts with discovering an intimacy within yourself. You can only attract intimacy on the outer if you find it first on your inner world. Someone can only love and respect you when you love and respect yourself. If you are afraid of getting hurt by opening to more intimacy, it means you haven't yet been intimate with this part of you that is still afraid and protecting itself from being hurt. By being intimate with your inner world, you open the door for others to come inside and help you to discover the divine being you truly are. Let go of all your expectations. Your mind probably has many preconceived ideas of what intimacy should and should not look like. And remember that these are just concepts about love, and any attachment to these concepts will limit your ability to experience a deeper intimacy within yourself. The purpose of intimacy is to be able to fully heal all your hidden wounded parts and constantly be this open, unlimited, unstoppable loving being. Why else are we here? It's a choice for us to stop playing small and living under the thumb of others' expectations of you. Start noticing how free you really are. When you drop these expectations, you will be able to manifest a soul-to-soul connection that has tons of intimate eye-heart contact and have healthy boundaries with them. This is your life. If you don't start living it today, you will just postpone it forever and never be truly alive. You may miss one of the greatest experiences of this life if you don't create a heartfelt, open-minded, intimate connection with another person. Practice becoming more intimate with yourself every day. One thing we don't have is a shortage of human beings on this planet. There are over 8 billion people here today. Some will instantly be intimate with you, while others currently have the ability to be cold, distant, prickly, and protected. You deserve the fuzzy, warm heart connection you want today. Affirm to this universe that every day you are opening to more intimacy with whoever can open to you. Don't wait forever for the one you are in a relationship with to open up to you. If they are blocked, send them lots of love. Be with them as deeply as they'll allow you, and continue on your intimate journey to discover who you truly are. Once they see that you are free and finding heart-opening connections with others, they will have to break through their inner armor and melt those barriers to love inside. Finding intimacy for yourself helps them to initiate their healing process. We are in a constant processing and learning and rediscovery. We don't know, none of us know a lot. We have kind of like amnesia. We really don't know in the beginning where we came from. We don't know who we are. So think about that. It is truly like amnesia. It's like a person, people that knew you and everything, and all of a sudden you have amnesia and you don't know who they are. You don't know who you are. And you're completely lost. And we come into these baby bodies, and the body grows into full size. And we look at everything, don't we? We absorb everything. I don't think there's a thing I don't think there's anything that we miss when these bodies are in the process of growing. So we have all these others outside of us that program us. And we absorb it all. And we take these programs from other people's thoughts, basically are the programs, and we program ourselves. Now, it's not like we know it. We just do it. And then we develop things. We pick up things. Reflect when you were a child. Pick any age, right? And remember what you were at that time. Your imagination was front and center. You didn't have fear. You didn't have worry. You didn't have stress. You didn't have ego. You were footloose and fancy free. But as time goes by, all of us are programmed. It's not a bad thing. But then as some of us begin to unravel the programming, at first, it's very light. But as we unravel, we begin to discover the root of who and what we are. We also begin to understand that your personality, your character, is not you. And then you realize that the body is not you. So then you have the opportunity, all of us do, to step away from the ego mind. And it's very simple. We get in a comfortable position. We remain as still as a stone statue. And we focus on our breath. And we watch our breath. This brings us into the now, moment to moment. Now, I'm not saying it's, to break the habit, to eliminate the habit of doing the opposite, right? Not going into the now, but living in the future past or yesterday or tomorrow, which we've done, all of us, unconsciously, forever. So that's a pretty big habit, isn't it? But when we begin to realize that we can step out of the ego mind and watch everything, not in judgment, but through the heart mind, we can watch everything. Watch the ego mind, how it operates. We begin to identify that's an ego thought, not interested in engaging it. Or this is an ego response. I'm not going to go there with that. I don't care to. An ego mind, you're not in charge here. So this is a repetitive commitment and devotion to oneself to begin mastering the ego mind. Because in the now, the ego mind doesn't exist. That's why I'll do everything I can to keep us in yesterday or tomorrow. And when we go into yesterday and tomorrow, none of us are exempt. We suffer. And then we become aware enough just to know that you're not the body. It's halfway there. To know it deep within you is halfway there. And then discovering that you're this omnipotently pure and powerful Supreme Being. You're housed in that body. The only reason you're in that body is to experience. That's it. And on top of it, you're so powerful that you can literally create the life that you want in short time and experience it. Most of us haven't gotten there yet. So, but we still create the life that we're experiencing. So, and then we wonder, right? Some of us, what's causing all this for me? Where is this all coming from? Have you ever done that with yourself? Where in the heck is all this coming from? And yet we don't know it's coming from us. We create it all. And collectively. There is nothing that can harm us at all. There never has been. Yet, we are so powerful that we create the harm for us. We create everything. The mind, right, is not large enough to comprehend this. When you create something, right, and you're in it, whatever it may be, hecticness, worry, stress, fear, loneliness, hatred, anger, just for a moment, you can drop into the heart mind, focus on your breath, move into gratitude, being grateful for every little everything, 24/7, genuinely through the heart mind. Being gentle, kind, humble, generous with yourself at all times. Forgiving of yourself. All of that vanishes. But you're the creator and you're the decreator. So when you create something that you say, okay, I created that, I'm not sure why, probably because the ego mind has its grips on me. That's fine. I've acknowledged that. But I don't care to engage in that anymore. I'm going to focus my energy on what I want to experience and how I want to live my life. And we're never alone. That's the crazy thing. All of us seem to be caught in this separation thing, right? And there's a reason for separation, so that we can each experience in different ways. But when you know that you're not alone and you can drop into the heart mind and you feel that warmth immediately and you feel that wonderful hug from the God that you are. Anytime you wish. When you sit somewhere, be in nature, could be anywhere. Ice skating rink, could be, depending on the time of year. And you're in commune with the God that you are. And only you know that. And it begins to create the energies around you outside that body begin to form and move because of that. And as that happens, it begins to expand out. And literally changes the atmospheric energy, which then touches other gods and other bodies, and then begins a shift. Like you could be standing somewhere, right? You could be watching something, you could be thinking something, and you automatically say, I want all of these people to discover the happiness within them. That's it. You focus your energy on that for even 5 or 6 minutes. You state it and you focus your energy on it. I guarantee you it will affect, in a high frequency way, all of that. See, we're not used to consciously doing this. That's why it feels different for many of us. Just different. The reason is because we don't have the confidence in ourselves, and we don't have the trust in ourselves, and we don't have the confidence and trust in the universe, as well as faith in ourselves or the universe. So that little doubt kind of turns away our manifesting energy, kind of dials it down, right? It's not like that we're consciously aware of this. But sooner or later, some of us will become consciously aware. You remember when you first begin to wake up, right? Remember how it felt? It's like a kid in a candy store, right? You wanted to see everything, read everything, know everything. Well, when you discover truly through the heart mind of who and what you are, that you create everything, it's like 1,000 times more releasing than that. And you know it, because you know how you know it? You feel it in your heart mind. That's how you know it. You can't fake that. That's there. It's always there. Some of us may just bump into it and then start to discover it. Others intentionally go in to discover it. And you know, it's interesting, we have no expectations of it, with it, of it, for it, by it. We just know. It's a feeling. We wanted to change anything on this planet, it would be changed. We wanted things to be a certain way, they would be a certain way. Because our energies are focused on what we want, and that's where we're practicing on energies, informing those energies, creating them into reality, and experiencing them. In reality, the only real thing is the gods that we are, the pure consciousness that we are. That's the only real thing. All of this stuff outside of us is like a computer simulation that we create for entertainment purposes only. We experience. That's what we do. We create and we experience. Now, if we didn't create, we wouldn't experience. I can guarantee you that. If none of us were creators, we wouldn't experience anything. But we are. It's what we are. We're supreme creators. That's what we do 24/7. Every single atomic second, we're creating. We're either creating unconsciously or consciously. And some of us that are consciously aware are focused through the heart mind with deep confidence, trust, and faith, without any crack there, any seepage of doubt. This is a process as the God within us awakens for us to identify who and what we are, and then to move from there and discover all the things that we have created, fears, worries, stresses, experiences that we buried, right, in our lives, that we stuck somewhere and just buried it, but still with us. And we discover all this, and we clean the closets out. We go through things that we normally would fear going through, but we finally realize that nothing can harm us, period. When you're in fear of something, right, what happens? That energy concentrates and focuses on creating more of that fear. And even though we know that fear is a thought, it's totally harmless, we energize it. We give it attention. And the more attention we give, the stronger it becomes. And here's another thing that many they're not too cognizant of this, but most of our fear is created by the illusion of losing something. Most of the fears that come in as thoughts that we energize, that we create into more, is because of us losing something. For instance, one of the biggest ones, these bodies. These bodies. Now, we're not that way as children. We don't even focus on that. It isn't even a glimmer of a thought until we're programmed. Then it does become that. Then we have those fears. Do you imagine that all of us, right, knew, with no doubt, no question, that we were in these bodies temporarily, and that while we're in these bodies, enjoy life to the fullest as much as we can, with total respect for the body. And then we know that we're going to leave the body. It's no big deal. Imagine what would happen at that point. That we don't fear leaving the body. And we then begin to understand that we have the power, each of us, the gods that we are, to stay in these bodies as long as we wish. And I'm not talking about a decrepit, broken down body. I'm talking about a young, youthful body. To keep it that way. We all have that power. But we also have the fear. It's interacting with this, all of us, in the global guided meditation. All of this is assisting us to unravel all the layers that we have created for ourselves. It is a mastership, these global guided meditations. It is truly a mastership for all of us to discover these of who and what we are. You imagine that all of us on this planet were in sync, right? We didn't have worries, stresses, and fears about what others thought about us. We didn't have prejudices, skin tones, all religions, all of this crap, right? And we were free because we had all discovered that we are the God, the pure consciousness within these bodies, that we are supreme, omnipotently powerful, immortal beings, that we never end. And that we knew without a shadow of a doubt that when we all focused on how we wanted things to be for all of us on this planet, and we all focused at once, it would instantaneously happen. Instantaneously happen. Immediate. Now, the ego mind says to you, no way, Jose, that can't happen. That's impossible. You're not powerful. You don't have those abilities. And then doubt comes in. Right? Fear. Worry. Which is created by the ego mind that dictates to our heart mind. And then we have those emotions and those feelings. I think we've all gotten to the level of understanding that more and more of us are beginning to realize in our own way that everything we see, we've created. It doesn't mean that you specifically or consciously aware that you created it. It could have been a passing thought, right, that you momentarily focused on, and it's gone and forgotten. But you see, you don't correlate that when you're looking at something and that you had that thought, and you projected it out to the universe, and it shifted, changed. And what that thought was, you created whatever that thought, whatever you were focused on. This is why we see what we see on this planet, right? Most of it, just about all of it, is an illusion. And illusions can be very, very real. They could feel real. You know what I mean? Tactile, scent, vision, auditory. It tantalizes our senses, even though it's an illusion. Because it's got to be compelling. If it wasn't very compelling, we would immediately find it out and say, it's an illusion. I'm not going to give any attention to that. But see, we create it so deeply that it fools us into believing that it is a reality. Since we are supreme reality, the gods within us are the only thing that's real that don't change. Okay? Everything that changes is not real. And we have this, all of us have this power. It's not like, oh, well, only a few have this. No, the rest of us are out of luck on that. No, we all have it. Every one of us. You know why? Because we're all one. All of us, we're one. Collective means one, together. And you can see and experience and feel many lifetimes that we've all experienced. There's that one common thread that one way, shape, form, or another, we are all moving towards self-discovery of the gods and the pure consciousness that we are within these bodies. May not be this lifetime, but it can be almost instantaneously. So when see a heart mind energy transforms how you perceive things. When you begin to truly identify with who and what you are with everything, that you are everything, and everything is you. There's no separation, which means it's like the drop in the ocean. It's like the golden ocean, and you're a golden drop, right? Well, you would look at you as a drop saying, well, I'm separate from that golden ocean because I'm over here, and the golden ocean is there. And if I allow myself, the golden drop, to drop into that golden ocean, I'm gone. I don't exist. And see, that's the fear. That's the ego mind kicking in. You've got to be separate in order to be you. And the funny thing is that none of us are. And all of us are. And you can see, you could literally see by watching, right? Not judging. There's certain hints that are given to us to remind us that we're all one. Most of us don't pick it up, not yet. Some of us kind of do, and others do. And these are things that are in other physical forms, okay? Other physical forms holding pure consciousness, other parts of the God. When you look at a horse, look at a horse's teeth. But the horse's teeth remind you of your teeth, don't they? And the body you're in? They kind of do. When you look at a tree, and you look deeper with the tree, you understand what is there, the tree in me? What's the connection here? It's just a tree. Doesn't look anything like me. Or it. Well, let's see. Wait a minute. I breathe in oxygen. This body takes in oxygen in order to sustain itself. So I can stay in it and experience this life and create the life I want. I exhale carbon dioxide. Now, wait a minute. Where's the identity there? The something in common, right? The tree breathes out oxygen and takes in carbon dioxide. These little subtle things we have incorporated to remind us that we're all one. Yet, we exist in the illusion of separation. And our self-discovery is we are not separate, but we are all experiencing in different ways. And all of that experience stays with the one. It accumulates with the one. Throughout this universe, throughout all of the universes, and beyond. Because there is a beyond from all the universes. And there is a continual beyond, meta, beyond, and it never ends. So these little subtle identities of association. We put them there to remind us, whether we're consciously aware of it or not, to remind us that we are all one. Now, if we were in let's put it this way, if we were in an area on this planet with these bodies, right, and there was no heat at all, zero, we would freeze. These bodies would freeze, and we would have to leave them. Now, what do? We burn wood, right? To keep us warm. The connection is very intimate with all life. Certain things are created to exist within, to provide without. Only things exist that way. Certain animals exist for what? Plants, animals, to nourish other physical forms. And we create all that. It's interesting how some of us will look at plants, right, that we're not killing anything. You know, a lot of us will look at animals as killing, which is bad. And then we look at plants, but we don't look at killing plants to eat them. Isn't that funny? But yet, plants are alive. They have pure consciousness throughout their entire structure. They live. They scream. They make noises. They respond to positive and negative. But yet, we eat them, but we don't view them as alive. We view animals as being alive. And it's all one. It is absolutely all one. How could any of us ever be lonely when we have that profound understanding that we are all one? It doesn't matter if you're in a cave somewhere on the planet living, no one around you, kind of like a hermit, but all these others on the planet, animals, all of it, are part of you. No one will ever be lonely again on this planet once that discovery has been made. And you can go there anytime you choose, within, with the heart, with the God that you are. And you'll feel that warmth. You'll feel that bliss. You'll feel the happiness, and you'll feel the joy. Some of us will say when we're getting ready to leave the body, I'll get it the next time around. I've had people tell me this just before they left the body. I'll get it next time around. And I look at them, and I put my hand on their heart, their chest, and I say, remember. Remember that. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. All of us can cultivate a constant state of happiness no matter what. Happiness is the next door neighbor to sorrow, anger, and despair. We can choose to be happy all the time, regardless of what appears to be happening in our lives. The door of happiness is always open and will always welcome you in no matter what. Before you know it, you have moved in together and are the best of friends. Isn't it so comforting to know that you can always count on eternal happiness to be here for you? Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We will return here Wednesday, October 19th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. And be good